Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Alicia Shelley, and I'm your host for the Thrive for Life Live. And so today we're going to be talking about the year of you. Now, we're still in the first week of 2023. And I don't know about you, I'm still trying to work on my New Year's resolutions, trying to get everything in check, trying to schedule everything. Some things I'm doing well on, some things I'm not, but at least I'm trying. And I'm sure just like me, you have some healthy lifestyle goals or healthy behaviors you're trying to incorporate into your lifestyle. And so today I want to talk about not only making yourself a priority so you can get these things done, but what happens if you reach obstacles or challenges along the way? How do you overcome those? So I'm going to talk about all of that today. First, I'm going to tell you a little story of one of my patients. We'll just call her Heather. Heather was doing so well in her weight loss journey. And I asked her one day, what was it that kind of helped you with losing weight? And she said to me, Doc, I made this the year of me. I made myself a priority. She's a mom. She's a full-time physician. She has so much going on, full-time business owner. And she realized that she needed to make this a year of her and make herself a priority. And when she focused on that, even though she probably doesn't have much time, she's pulled in multiple different directions. What she found was that she was able to make time for herself and be able to put her healthy goals um, in front and be able to meet them. And in the process, she inspired her family along the way. So let's be like Heather and make this the year of us. Now, of course, it's so much easier said than done. There are always challenges that come on the way. And the most common challenges that I see are about four of them. Four of the most common. One is time, not having enough time. The other one is obligations, having to work late at work, or having to take your children to soccer practice, or having to take care of your aging parents. And the third one is just being exhausted and just not maybe having motivation. These challenges are are the common challenges that I see that stop people from making themselves a priority and thriving in their healthy habits. So let's talk about how to overcome them. Let's start off with time. Now, if you're one of those people that just does not have enough time in the day, well, you're just like everyone else. I wish I had more time in the day, but I guess we just don't. So the one thing that's going to be important is that we schedule our priorities. And because a lot of times we think, well, that's easier said than done. But sometimes if we write it down on our planner, write it down in our calendars, it makes it a lot easier for us to get it done because we know we're going to do it at one particular time. So scheduling it is going to be important. The next thing is making sure you're making realistic goals. If you have a lot on your plate, it may not be realistic saying that you're going to work out 6 days a week for 2 hours when you only literally have 30 minutes. So you may have to break it down into smaller goals where instead of working out 2 hours a day for 6 days a week, you may be like, hey, I'm going to work out 30 days, for 30 minutes for 5 days out the week. And definitely give yourself grace because you may be just overwhelmed. So if you could just start off with the more realistic goals and what I like to call the baby steps, where you can actually choose small goals, it will be so much easier for you to overcome the time challenge. The next thing is once you schedule your priorities, make a plan and stick to it. Just be consistent. Just know that at this particular time, you're going to do this healthy habit. And then last, delegate. If you don't have time to cook or you don't like to cook, have someone else cook for you. You can purchase a meal plan, a meal service. There's so many people, chefs who are doing their own meal service where they can fix you healthy meals and you can be able to use those and just have your meals ready so you don't have to cook, you don't have to meal prep, it's already done. And if you don't have time to exercise, find 20, 30 minutes workout that you can do. YouTube is so key. There's so many people who've done workouts that you can just start. You just have to search whatever workout you're looking for, whether it's Zumba, whether it's walking, whether it's yoga, whatever the workout is, you can find it on YouTube for sure. Now let's look at the next challenge, which is the obligations. Now, we can't change the obligations. We can't change that we need to care for our families or our aging parents, or we just have this project that's due. However, we can set boundaries on what we can and cannot do. You have to know what's best for you, because the last thing we want you to do is to get burnt out. So set your boundaries. If it's like, listen, I work 5 days out the week, and if you need me, I need you to call me between this time and this time. And I'm not answering my phone outside of this to answer your questions. I'll get it the next day. Or if it's like, hey, I need to take my kids somewhere, but I'm just gonna take my kids and come home and then go exercise. Like, set those boundaries and incorporate your family into it. Incorporate your spouse. Sit down and say, hey, sweetie, honey, sugar pie, I want to lose weight. I want to be healthy. And so I need you to help me out so that I can get to my goals. So incorporate your family in trying to stay healthy. You actually may be surprised, especially if you're like, hey, kids, we're going for a walk. And you walk with your kids and you spend that time. They may actually look forward to having that time with you to be able to spend that time. Next, leave the guilt behind you. In order to be there for your family, in order to be there for work, sometimes you can feel guilty that you're not spending as much time, but don't feel guilty. You're doing the best you can. You are doing the best you can for yourself so that you can show up for your family and for work and be that best person. So if you're taking 30 minutes to go walk and you're clearing your head so that when you come back, you have more time to spend with your kids, that's great. So don't feel guilty about it. Next, the next challenge that people have is the exhaustion and lack of motivation. Now, we can't change what's going on in our surroundings, but we can only change how we show up for it. So when you're feeling exhausted, focus on what could be causing you to feel tired. Is it the fact you're going to bed late? Is it the fact you just can't sleep? Whatever it is that's causing you to feel so exhausted, focus on that and try to improve on that. But next, it's important that you find time for yourself in that schedule. Make sure you're finding time where you're able to do things you enjoy so that you can stay motivated and have a little bit more energy because you're enjoying what you're doing. Next, schedule that activity that you enjoy. I always ask my patients, what's the one thing that you use to help relax? And whatever it is, keep doing it. So make sure that you're finding time for yourself. And if you're feeling lack of motivated in your weight loss challenge, remember the why you're doing this. Remember why you're doing it. Make sure you go through and you look about what it is, why you're trying to lose weight, and kind of post it somewhere so you can remind yourself why you're doing this. And then take a moment to dream. What would it look like if you were at your goal weight? Well, how would you feel? What would you be able to do that you're not doing right now? Because if you focus on the future you and what you're able to accomplish just by making these small steps, it makes you stay more motivated to keep moving forward. I always like to keep like a little gratitude or a wins journal so I could kind of remind myself what I've done. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I'm forgetful. So I'm going to forget what I've done and just kind of beat myself up when I don't feel like I'm doing everything correct. But that's okay. But by keeping that wins journal, you can look back and say, this is what I've accomplished. I've actually done something right. And then you can relive those moments. Next, plan out your non-eating rewards. How are you going to reward yourself for being so consistent? And it's okay if it's something simple, like I'm going to take myself out to a movie or I'm going to get my nails done. Whatever it is that makes you happy and that's a reward for you, do it and write that down. Now, I know these are just a couple of suggestions and advice that you can use and strategies to use to kind of help overcome the different challenges that come your way. But remember, this year is about you. You're making yourself a priority. And so by just making the small baby steps, having realistic goals, choosing that one thing that you can change will make a huge difference. But if you keep putting it off till tomorrow, putting it off till next week, putting it off till next month, before you know it, you won't be able to reach your goal. Now, remember, you don't want to be the same person you were at the end of next year. So you got to start now. And I have a free online course for you that you can sign up to kind of learn more as we kind of kickstart 2023, the year of you. And you can go to thriveforlifechallenge.com/kickstart. Again, that's thriveforlifechallenge.com/kickstart. And you can be able to sign up for that free course. Well, I'm Dr. Alicia Shelley, and I look forward to seeing you all next week, where I talk a little bit more about mindset and weight loss. And just in case if you didn't get it, here is the link again, which is the thriveforlifechallenge.com/kickstart. All right, see you next time.